Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse of Madness was a movie I was really looking forward to. It was decent to say the least. Is it better than Morbius though? Maybe. I'm not gonna lie, the movie was kind of a letdown for me. I may have overhyped it a bit too much for myself, and while it wasn't exactly what I was expecting, I still enjoyed it to a certain degree. It may also have to do with the fact that I'm not a big fan of Raimi's style, which is definitely an unpopular opinion. Just a fair warning, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the movie already, I'd recommend stopping the video. This movie definitely isn't for everybody, and yes, the hundreds of cameos you were expecting did not happen. It was far from a masterpiece, but still quite enjoyable. You can definitely see hints that are reminiscent of Raimi's older horror style, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. I really like the horror elements this movie was going for. There are a number of jump scares that actually got me. It shows Marvel is willing to get a bit more darker with their stories and stop going with the lighthearted, more comedic tone most of their movies go for. I mean, some of the kills were extremely brutal, especially for a Marvel movie. I honestly think if they made it R-rated and just a bit more gory, I would have enjoyed it a bit more. But that's just me. These elements certainly made the movie a lot better, and without them the movie would have been lacking and a bit more unenjoyable, at least to me. I will also say that Elizabeth Olsen did a fantastic job and really made Scarlet Witch feel genuinely terrifying throughout the entire movie. The cinematography was some of the best so far, at least by Marvel standards, as I like to just go for more stiff-angled shots and never move the goddamn camera. There were some seriously gorgeous shots in this film. You could truly feel Raimi's influence across the entire movie. This movie also has some really creative scenes. There's a scene where they're literally throwing musical notes at each other. I mean, come on, that shit's fucking dope. Okay, on to the negatives now. There were some serious pacing issues. There was a lot of scenes where the villains were about to do something and Doctor Strange is just walking around. This movie felt like more of a Scarlet Witch movie than a Doctor Strange movie. It focused on Wanda way too much and it didn't give Stefan a chance to shine. There were some actors who were a bit lacking, American Chavez, I'm looking at you, but it didn't take too much away from the movie. Another big issue I had with the movie was they nerfed everybody to make Scarlet Witch seem way more powerful than she actually is. Like, come on, you and I both know that fight between Scarlet and the Illuminati was some bullshit. Oh my god, it's Reed Richards? He tries to talk to Wanda out of fighting, and then he gets turned into fucking spaghetti and he gets his head blown off. And you're telling me she beat Charles Xavier, who has the most powerful brain in existence, in some stupid ass mind games? That's almost as stupid as Peter Parker beating Doctor Strange in his own mind dimension using geometry. Don't even get me started on No Way Home. That's for a different video. That's what's called lazy writing, Marvel. Take some fucking notes. Oh, and don't even get me started on Captain Marvel getting killed by a piece of rock. Come on, man. I'm pretty sure someone else died to Rebel, but I don't remember. I wasn't watching the movie. I just wish the Illuminati was a bit more fleshed out, instead of all being wiped out in mere seconds. Another complaint of mine is the CGI. Marvel really likes their CGI. I think they use it way too much in their movies. I would love if they could throw at least a couple practical effects in there. The CGI for most of the movies in Phase 4 has been pretty bad, and this was no exception. That octopus in the opening scene looked like something straight out of a 2008 indie film. The ending was a bit too cliche for me. I was expecting something a bit more emotional, and guess how she dies? By having rocks fall on her. This movie is not the best MCU movie, however I do appreciate that it steers away from the usual Marvel formula and it tries something different. But trying something different doesn't always work. This movie is pretty entertaining, but nowhere near as good as Morbius, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10.